How's it going, YouTube? LtxPrisco here. Don't mind my hand in the camera just now. So check me out. It is Friday, which means it's pretty much the weekend. I'm at work. I'm waiting to go inside because I don't have to clock in for another 30 minutes. But it's Friday, payday, and it's just a good day in general. Let me tell you guys, locals are about to start back up. I'm about to have some fun. So, I'm making it a goal for myself that now that locals are starting back up and events are gonna start coming back soon, you know, with the slow reopening of everything, I just want to say that I'm making it a goal. I'm gonna get my invite, and I'm gonna be playing bad decks the whole time. So, hope you guys enjoy the ride. Stick with me, and yeah, let's get this, okay? Locals are on Sunday, which means I'm gonna be preparing the deck that I'm gonna be playing, and anybody who knows me or has been following me for any amount of time knows what I'm gonna be playing. But I'll show you guys what I'm gonna play in just a moment. All right, so stick around for the ride. Please enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't already. But that's for the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get into this. All right, so we're back home. I did have quite a bit of a long day at work. A lot of heavy lifting. I do work in a warehouse. For those of you guys who don't know me, I can kind of use this as a little bit of an introduction. So my name is LtxPrisco, aka LtxPrisco, Lieutenant Prisco, whatever you guys want to call me. I'm okay with all of that. So I work for a company called Fastenal. Hopefully not for long. I'm trying to get a new job right now, but I work for a company called Fastenal in their shipping department. I pretty much pack up orders and ship them all over the world for companies like Harley, the companies that make all the roller coasters at Universal, companies, we even make little tiny little like fasteners and screws for companies like Oakley and their sunglasses. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting company, although I am, like I said, trying to get out of there. That was a little bit of just like a little bit of background for me. So yeah, I got out of work. It was a hard day, a lot of heavy lifting. I showered now that I'm home. Locals isn't for another 2 days. It's on Sunday. But for today, I am going to go over the list I'm going to be taking to locals. Now, nobody's going to see this video because this video will obviously be out and released after locals has gone down. But I do have my list right here, all sorted and ready to go. So I will show that to you guys in just a moment. Just so you know, a little bit of preface, this is more of a blog or vlog rather than the typical deck profiles that I do, because this is going to showcase, or not showcase, but just kind of show you guys what my weekends look like in general. So now that locals are starting back up again, my weekends are going back to normal. So here's my plan. Tonight, I'm going to the bar with a bunch of my friends. My girlfriend finally got a babysitter, which is really good. Tomorrow I've got D&D with those same group of friends, so might see some footage from there. I may or may not be too drunk to remember to record. So yeah, and then, you know, Sunday obviously I will show you guys where I go to locals, and yeah, it's all gonna be in this video anyway. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and just get right into the list. I'll show you the building process and the thought process that I put into building the deck, and obviously anybody who knows me knows what deck I'm gonna go run. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so the setup is a little weird. I apologize. Like I said in my last video, I'm still waiting for the tripod that I ordered, the new one, to come in the mail. Until then, I'm kind of using a little bit of a busted old one, so kind of doing this backwards here. So I'll go over the deck building process. So obviously I'm going to be playing Time Thief. You know, it's me. What can I say? Obviously we are going to be playing the 3 copies of Regulator because, you know, this is your main starter card. It's your main normal summon. It's not the only normal summon in the deck, but it is the best one. This is pretty much a rescue rabbit. It tributes itself off the field to summon 2 Time Thief monsters with different names from the deck in defense position. So that's pretty self-explanatory. It's really good. Really, really susceptible to Ash, but, you know, it is what it is. So, next, we are playing 3 copies of Winder. This is the searcher of the deck. He can special summon himself by detaching material from next seas monster that you control. So obviously he's really good. He's really strong. Even as a normal summon, he can kind of help you go off from there. Although I don't really like normal summoning him. Next, we are playing 2 copies of Bezelship and 2 copies of Chrono Quarter. Now, Bezelship is sort of like a DD Crow on the field, I would say, but he, because as a quick effect, he can tribute himself, and he can target an Xyz monster that you control and attach a card from your opponent's graveyard. It doesn't target the card in the graveyard either, so it's really good. To an Xyz monster that you control. And then the other one, Chrono Quarter, this is kind of like a Battle Fader, I would say, or maybe like a that's not an honest. Honestly, I don't know what to compare it to, but pretty much it contributes itself off the field, and the next damage that I would take, the opponent takes instead. So it can kind of help stall out games. It can also like kind of deter your opponent from actually attacking you at certain times if their life points are low enough. So it's decent. Also, if your Time Thief Xyz monster leaves, or if I think it's an Xyz monster leaves the field due to a card effect, while this card's in the graveyard, it can summon itself out from the graveyard. Now, obviously, if you use either of these effects while they're in the graveyard to summon themselves out, they get banished when they leave the field. But if you use them for Xyz material, then they don't technically leave the field. And then for the rest of the Time Thief cards, I'm playing 1 copy of Time Thief Hack and 1 copy of Time Thief Startup. Now, the reason being is because both of these cards are searchable, and this can be searched off of Winder if you don't open up Regulator to kind of summon out another Time Thief card from your hand. But it also has a really, really broken graveyard effect that says you can banish this card from your graveyard and attach 3 Time Thief cards with different names from your graveyard to a Time Thief monster that you control. So 1 monster, 1 spell, and 1 trap, which is absolutely busted. And then this card, it's really good for like kind of protecting your Xyz monsters on the turn that they're summoned. Also, it has an effect where you can target an Xyz monster that you control. It gains 300 attack for each material that it has attached to it, as well as if it has material that is controlled by your opponent, or that is owned by your opponent, then it can attack directly. So obviously this with Redoer is really strong because Redoer is going to constantly be taking cards from your opponent anyway. And for the traps, I'm playing 2 copies of Flyback. This is pretty standard. I've seen some people play 1, I've seen some people play 2, I've seen some people play none, but this card is it's really good because if you set it to the field and you can activate it and attach the second copy of itself to a Redoer from the deck, but also it has another like pseudo DD Crow effect in the graveyard where you can banish it and then target an Xyz monster you control and attach a card from your opponent's graveyard to it as material. So, yeah. And then the last card is our Counter Trap. Contemplated putting this up to 2, but right now I really like it at 1 because I kind of don't need another copy. Once I use it, then I'm normally winning the game after that. And this is normally to negate like blowout cards like Dark Ruler No More and Evenly Matched. But pretty much what it is Infernity Barrier. You, while you control a Time Thief Xyz monster, and your opponent activates a spell or trap, negate the activation and attach the card to your Xyz monster as material, which is obviously really strong. And then it wouldn't be a Time Thief deck without 3 copies of Shade Brigadier. Now, I know this isn't a Time Thief card, so it's not technically
part of the Time Thief engine. But it's played in every Time Thief list. Like, every Time Thief list. So it is an honorary Time Thief card, if you ask me. So that's it for the Time Thief engine, or the Time Thief deck engine. Now I'm going to be showing you the extenders. So my thought process on this card, to staple 3 of, in any deck that can make level 4s, or link monsters, that wants to run a level 4, or a rank 4. Rank 4, not 4. Alright, thought process over. That's really all that's needed to be explained. For the other extenders, I'm playing 2 copies of Rocket Tracer and 1 copy of Rocket Recharger. I really like the Rocket engine because it has access to cards like Quick Launch, which I am playing 3 copies of, by the way. And this allows me to have 2 different things. So, Quick Launch into Rocket Tracer, and a Rocket Tracer popping a face-up card that I control can get me a Rocket Recharger. That can give me either a rank 4 if my regulator gets negated, or it can also give me a level 8 synchro, because Rocket Tracer is a tuner that's level 4, so it's really, really strong. So that's pretty much it for the extenders. Now for the rest of the deck, if you didn't see this coming, I'm playing a shit ton of hand traps. So we're playing 3 Ash, and this is just kind of to counter the other decks. Since we are playing a bad deck, we need to have ways to counter the other decks other than the cards that we're running in the engine. So 3 Ash, staple hand trap at 3 for obvious reasons. I'm also playing 3 Ghost Mourner. I was considering playing 3 Effect Veiler, but I really like Ghost Mourner better because this in combination with Redoer, while he has a trap, can be really devastating to kind of steal games when your opponent's least expecting it. Because if you have Redoer with a trap, let's say like it's kind of late game, which Time Thief is a grind deck anyway. Let's say it's late game, your opponent summons a monster while you have Redoer, or special summons a monster while you have Redoer with a trap. They don't have a lot of life points left. They go to activate the effect, you negate it with Ghost Mourner, and then you spin it off the field after it resolves with Redoer, and because it left the field, they take the burn damage and then they lose. It's not a lot of people are doing that, but I really like it. And the whole goal of this deck is to stun your opponent from playing anyway, so pretty strong. And then I'm also playing the Gamma package with the 1 driver because this is searchable with Cypherum Lord Omega, which, yes, I'm still playing that package that carried over from Lunalights. If you watch my other Time Thief deck profiles, I haven't been playing that package for quite a long time because I was waiting for Parallel Exceed to come out, and I was trying to figure out some combos and this and that. So yeah, this is probably one of the strongest hand trap packages in the game because you can make your 5th summon be Lambda. And now, you know, if you already have this in hand, then cool. When your opponent Nibiru's you or tries to, you know, hit you with a hand trap, you can just negate it and then get 2 free bodies on board. Put them in your graveyard for link summoning later. So, really strong. And then 3 Call by the Grave. I didn't know where else to put this, but this is kind of just like a utility card. So I put it with the hand traps because most of the time you're using this to negate hand traps. So that's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, it's a little bit different than what you might see with most lists. I'm playing 1 Almirage. Almirage is really broken because if I brick, but I open up a Parallel Exceed and a hand trap, then I can turn my hand trap into a starter card, link it off, and then into Almirage, and then go into, you know, Parallel Exceed, and now I still have a Redoer on field. I am playing the Cypherum Lord Omega, or Lambda, like I said. This is, you know, pretty obvious why I'm playing it. I'm playing the Gamma package. 1 IP Masquerena, and then 1 Bujinki Ahashima. IP Masquerena is obviously a staple, it's really strong. Bujinki Ahashima is actually kind of underrated. I still don't really like this card because I can't use it as link material, but it's still really strong because if I get 2 level 4s on the field with like Regulator, and I have a Parallel Exceed and another level 4 brick in my hand, like if I open up with Rocket Tracer or Rocket Recharger and no Quick Launch, then I can link off those two level 4s into this. This effect will activate to summon a level 4 from the grave and a level 4 from your hand, and then you can chain Parallel Exceed. Summon Parallel Exceed to this zone that it points to, get your other two level 4s, immediately exceeds, and then Parallel Exceed can never miss timing, so you get another Parallel Exceed from the deck, and now you have another rank 4 off of one card. Still are technically 2 cards, or 3 cards. It's 2.5-ish, maybe? But Parallel Exceed is kind of just like an extender in that sense. But in all necessities, if you have like 1 brick in hand, so it's technically got 1.5 card combo, because all you really need is 1 more level 4 in hand after regulator resolves. So it's okay. And then like if you detach an Xyz or detach material from an Xyz monster to activate its effect, so if you detach the cost, you can pop a spell and trap on your opponent's side of the field, which is still really good. For the one Link 3 that I'm playing is Nightmare Unicorn, because spinning stuff back to the deck is really strong, and it kind of fits the theme of the deck anyway. And then 1 Access Code Talker for obvious reasons, and 1 Appaloosa. If you don't have Access Code Talker, you can easily just play a Boral Sword. It works, just as good. So that's it for the links. For the Xyz monsters, I'm obviously playing 2 copies of Redoer. I wanted to play 3, but I've really just been liking 2 copies because it gives me more space to play other cards like Links and other Xyz cards that I'll show you in a minute. 2 copies of Timekeep Perpetua, you really only need 2. Sometimes 1 is okay, but I really like 2. And then 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 Abyss Dweller, pretty standard. I'm also playing 1 copy of Dugaris because you can combine Dugaris with Time Thief Redoer and Time Thief Hack on the field, wherever it is. There it is. So I'll show you the combo, right? Late game, you have a way to make another rank 4. You have this on field and Redoer with a shit ton of materials, right? So you go ahead and use Hack, target Redoer that has all the material, right? Increase its attack by 3,000. It can attack directly now, right? Because it has all that material from your opponent. Then you go ahead and make Dugaris, use its effect to detach to, and then target Redoer. Redoer will be able to attack directly on top of having his attack doubled, plus all the extra attacks. So, if you have, let's see, he's 24, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Technically, you need 6 materials, which isn't hard to do, especially with cards like Startup or other cards like, technically, if you're going to be using Startup's effect, then this is going to be engraved. So, not really, but it's not hard to get plenty of cards attached to Redoer over a couple of turns, because you take 1 on your turn, you take 1 on your opponent's turn, and then another on your turn, another on your opponent's turn. Then you have cards like Flyback that can take cards from your opponent's graveyard, and then you have cards like Bezel Ship that can take cards from your opponent's graveyard, and you have Perpetua also attaching cards to Redoer every turn. So, we have, let's see, 1 on your turn, technically 2, right? And then another 2, and then another 2. Technically, all it takes is 3 turns if you have both of these. It's not hard to do, and you can search this out with Winder. And then the last card I'm playing is the 1 Synchro, aside from Lord Omega, because it's not hard to do when you're playing the Rocket engine, because Rocket Tracer, like I said, is a level 4 tuner. You could also, like, if you really wanted to, you can play the Needle Fiber package that goes into Selene, because then you can use Needle Fiber and summon out a Effect Veiler, right, from your deck, which means you would have to play Effect Veiler over one of the other hand traps. But you can summon out an Effect Veiler from your deck, and then go into Selene, and then Selene will summon another Effect Veiler, and you go into Access Code Talker for OTKs. It's not a bad, not a bad combo. I know a lot of the control decks are playing it. I'm not playing it just because, 1, I don't have access, I don't have Selene, but 2, because it requires a lot of space, and I am, in my opinion, playing the better hand traps. For the side deck, I am playing 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More, That is pretty standard. You kind of have to, especially in this format. 3 copies of Evenly Matched, another staple card. Playing 3 copies of Token Collector because in this format I feel like this is just really strong because you're going to see Eldritch, Synchro, and Adamantipator just everywhere. So yeah, honestly I feel like this card is just necessary at this point. And then I'm playing 3 copies of Nibiru, also a necessary evil. And then I'm playing 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. I was maining these at one point. Decided that it's more of a tech card, so I'm gonna put them in the side for now. Anyways, this is the list I'm gonna be taking to locals. All right, so yeah, I guess we'll see you there.
Actually, I don't think I'm going to be seeing you there. Not yet, at least. I will be seeing you possibly at the bar tonight because I think I'm going to remember to record at least a little something. In the meantime, right? Enjoy your night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm trying to make this more of like a vlog video, and I've never done that before, so this is very new to me. Please, please, please stick around to the end. Okay, I really appreciate it, like more than you guys can ever know. Okay, so yeah, we'll see you soon.
100% adept at it either. Like that a guy that spent like 10 years doing it every day, fit pipes together.
Yeah.
But I'd be okay.
Say hi, everyone.
What's up? What's going on? What is this, Facebook Live?
No, it's a video.
for my YouTube channel.
Yo,
what up?
Yo, what up? Follow this channel.
Got that coronavirus, man.
Hit that like button. Subscribe. Cheers.
And that's why I love Nick.
Okay, so as you can see, I had a pretty good night. I was a little drunk. Me and all my friends were really drunk. It was fun. I had a good night. So anyways, it's a little bit later in the day. The next day, it's Saturday. I've got D&D tonight. And tomorrow is locals. First locals. So I'm mentally preparing myself. I'm doing some test hands with the deck here. I'll go over, I guess, a couple of them here. Maybe one. I don't want to drag out this video too long. It's already going to be pretty long, longer than normal. But I'll show you guys a quick test hand real quick. Real quick. It's kind of redundant. I'll show you guys a test hand real quick. Alright, so I've got the deck all shuffled here. Just getting the camera angle correct. I might zoom out a little bit here so you guys can see better. Alright, so let's see what we got. Regulator is always good. Bezel ship. Quick launch. Exceed, and another quick launch. Alright, that's not too bad. We didn't open up Call by the Grave. That's unfortunate because now we have no way of protecting our regulator. So if this gets ashed, kind of dead in the water there, but we did open up double quick launch and a parallel exceed, so we do have some plays. So we'll go ahead and just start off by normaling the regulator, and hopefully we don't get ashed. If it doesn't get ashed, we can go ahead and summon our winder, and we'll either go for Chrono Quarter or Bezel Ship. I'll just go for Chrono Quarter. Now we've got some choices here. We could either link or make. Well, I got Bezel Ship in hand, so I kind of don't need. Yeah, no, I know what I'm gonna do here. So we'll go ahead and just link these two off. And extra deck. We're going to go into Bujinki Ahashima. Bujinki Ahashima's effect is going to activate. We're going to be able to summon 2 monsters with the same level, one from my grave and one from the hand. But then we're also going to be able to chain Parallel Exceed to the summon. So Parallel Exceed will resolve first, and then Ahashima will resolve. We'll go ahead and get the Bezel Ship on the field from our hand. And then we can summon either the Winder or the Regulator. You kind of want to keep this engraved, so we're just going to go with Regulator. Summon that out onto the field. You can't really see it, but it's
right here. And then for, I think I can zoom out a little bit more actually. Oh no, that's it. That's as far out as I can go. But then after resolution, parallel exceed, because it won't miss timing, we can use that, or won't miss timing, we can use its second effect to summon another copy of itself. Oh well, hold on. Before I fuck this up, right? His effect also reads that immediately after it resolves, we have to go into an Xyz monster. So before we can even summon the second parallel Xyz, we'll go into an Xyz monster. Right here, I normally go for Redoer. That's just sometimes it's the smart move. And then parallel Xyz will get another copy of itself on the field. Now here we've got double quick launch, which this is kind of cool. I know a little combo with double quick launch if we're able to get it off. But what do I want to do here? I have a bit of an idea. We'll go ahead and activate the quick launch, and we'll summon out the Rocket Tracer from the deck. And then we'll go ahead, so we're going to say that Rocket Tracer is, this is such a bad angle. I really wish I had my new tripod already. So Rocket Tracer will be here, and then we'll go ahead and activate the second quick launch, and then we'll chain Rocket Tracer to quick launch, targeting quick launch. No, hold on. Don't do this yet. Don't activate this yet. Link. Yeah, link these two parallel exceed off to make some space into lambda. So yeah, now we go ahead and activate quick launch and then chain tracer to quick launch, targeting quick launch. So quick launch will be destroyed. Camera angles, all that good stuff. And then off of quick launch, we'll summon a where are you? Off of quick launch, we'll summon a second copy of Rocket Tracer, and then off of Rocket Tracer's effect, we'll summon a copy of Rocket Recharger. So now that we have that, put that there. Take a look at the grave real quick. Okay, we can actually synchro these two to go into Ciphering Lord Omega. And then if we want, we can use its effect to rip a card out of our opponent's hand. That will trigger the lambda. Actually, and then we can also like use Redoer's effect to banish itself. That will also trigger the lambda, as well as trigger the Chrono Quarter in grave. So I think we can do that. Go ahead, use this card to rip a card. Chain lambda, and then chain Redoer. Detach either one of these, it doesn't really matter. And we're gonna get the Chrono Quarter. Redoer is gonna be banished. Let's see. Now we can go ahead and do this. And why am I searching through my deck? We'll go into the Time Thief Perpetua. That way, during the end phase, Redoer will come back. Perpetua's effect can activate. We'll attach a copy of Flyback to him. And then we also get to search out our Ciphering Gear Gamma. So essentially, this is what we've got. We've got Bujinki Hashima, unfortunately pointing at another Link monster, so it's not like we can use its effect to pop a card. We've got this that's going to be coming back pretty soon. We've got Redoer with a Trap Perpetua that can summon out another card from the grave, so we can summon out either our Bezel Ship, so we have a Pseudo DD Crow, or we can summon out our Winder to get a search. We also have this in the Gate Monsters, so... Oh, you know what I forgot? We also summoned Winder this turn off of Regulator, so we would have had a search, which means... lucky that was on the bottom. We also have a Time Thief Retrograde. So this isn't too bad of a board. I think it's pretty solid. Pretty solid. And this could have gone a number of different ways too. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one more test hand, and I'll be right back. Okay, we got a little something here. Alright, so I got my camera to focus finally, but unfortunately I can't zoom out anymore. So this is the hand that we were dealt. At most, I mean, we've got Redoer with a trap and some back row at minimum. So like, we can bait out the Ash with quick launch. And then, like, if we don't have to negate the Ash, we could keep the Call by the Grave if they do have the Ash. If not, then we get an extra monster on board, like, that's okay. But this isn't bad. I mean, I'm not gonna really show this combo because this is pretty self-explanatory. You either get the summon or you don't, and if you do, then you don't need to waste your normal summon on Rocket Recharger. Go ahead and use Shade Brigadine and the Rocket Tracer that you summon off a quick launch, go into Redo it, and now you have 2 back row. So that's pretty simple. But anyways, it's starting to get a little late. I've got D&D. So yeah.
So anyway, guys, like I said, I've got D&D pretty soon, so I'm gonna go ahead and pack my bag up. But before I do that, because let me see the time. I don't have my watch on me, but I know like I've got to leave pretty soon. Before I do that, I just want to tell you guys, I found this at FYE. I think it's like a really cool, like little mini binder. So I'm probably gonna be using this to put like my expensive cards in there. Not all my expensive cards. I've got like 3 cards and some hard cases over there that I will not put in the binder because I am sitting on them so that they go up in value. Actually, I'll show you really quick. All right, so I went and grabbed them real quick. Let me tell you, I really like these. Okay. So 2 of these I pulled myself. 1 I bought at a bit of a discount. So I'll show you the newest one first, and that is the collector rare Chaos Daedalus. I wonder if you guys can see that. Let me adjust the lighting real quick. 1 second. Alright, so I fixed the lighting so you guys can see this a little bit better. But yeah, so this is the newest one. I pulled this while I was in Florida. I went down there to go visit some family, and I stopped at one of their local card shops. It was called Coliseum Comics in Kissimmee. Yeah, it was a really nice store, by the way. But yeah, so I did some trades with some of the people there, and had some money to spend. So I bought a box of Toon Chaos, pulled this beauty, as well as a couple of other things. Nothing too much, but this right here pretty much gave me back all the money that I spent, which is really nice. So yeah, I'll show you guys a close-up of that in just a second. The second one, this is also a card that I pulled recently, is the Starlight Rare Chamber Dragon Maid. Now this one's really nice. This is one that it's one of those waifu cards. I know it's gonna be worth. It's already worth like a decent amount of money, but it's gonna be worth a lot of money within the next 5 years, because you're not gonna be seeing Starlight Rares a lot. So if Konami's doing anything similar to what they've done in the past with Ultimates and Ghost Rares and stuff like that, Starlights won't be in core sets for will only be in core sets for, you know, the next couple of years, and after that they'll stop doing them and start putting them elsewhere or something. And then the last one, this is the one that I bought at a lower price. If you watched any of my previous videos relating to Time Thief, then you know that I've got this. This is my prized possession. This is my baby. And I decided to stop playing it in decks because I'm scared I'm gonna mess it up. I don't want to do that. So anyways, those are my 3 collector cards, collector items. And yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start packing up so I can go to D&D. Maybe I'll get some footage of that, who knows. I sometimes forget, sometimes I just get really drunk and I don't think about it. Anyways, guys, I'll see you soon. Alright guys, so couple things. I didn't record my D&D session at all because I completely forgot. I was just really drunk. Actually not really drunk, but I was very distracted. D&D got really, really interesting. The second thing is I didn't really record locals. I wasn't able to record any matches. I got there kind of late, so I didn't really have any time to set up a table with a camera on it for myself, and I know that the owner of the locals would allow me to do that, but I would need to show up early to set up, and I just didn't have the time to. So that's how that went down. Plus, there was a lot of people there. There was also a Magic tournament going on there at the same time, so it was only 4 rounds, but I'll give you guys a breakdown of everything that happened. So round 1, I go up against my friend Richie, and he's playing LtxPrisco. Let me tell you, Richie is one of the most skilled players that I know. He normally plays Salad, so I'm surprised that he wasn't playing Salad, because when I heard I was going up against him, I was fully prepared to play Salad. I won the die roll. I go first. My board wasn't crazy game 1. I think I set up like a redoer and I think a redoer with a trap and a fog blade in the back. Oh, by the way, the deck has changed a little bit. I did make some last minute changes. I didn't record it yet, but I will show that after this. So I'm on my way to work, so that's why I'm like driving. So yeah, I set up a redoer with a trap from Shade Brigadine, and then I had a fog blade in the back row, and I think I had like a Called by the Grave as well. So that's really it. I didn't have much else. I think I had 1 card in hand, or 1 hand trap. I think it was either an Ash or a Ghost. I think it was a Ghost Bell. It was a Ghost Bell. So he goes for his normal play. I think he starts off with tuning. And I think I had to let that resolve. I'm trying to remember what else happened. He gets out Jet Synchron, links off the Jet Synchron into no. Okay, I know what happened. So he first, before he did tuning, he tries to go into his Eldritch plays. And as soon as he got Golden Boy on the field, I bounced it back to the deck with Redoer. So then he goes for his synchro plays. And once he goes into Needle Fiber, I hit Needle Fiber with a Fog Blade. So now he's not able to really do anything, because he's got 1 monster on board who doesn't have any resources. So he sets some back rows, and we go from there. Redoer comes back, I steal his Golden Lord, and in my next draw, I forgot what it was, but was it? It was Regulator. Okay, so my next draw was a Regulator. So in standby phase, after I took the Golden Lord, I bounced Redoer off the field, summoned Regulator, and I just went off from there. It was nuts. I just kept snowballing and outing all his plays, and I think I ended that game. I ended up building, what was it? I know I had Redoer on field at the end phase, Perpetua, Tornado Dragon, and I had a Link.
I don't remember what the link was. I think the link might have been either Cyframe Lambda or Bujinkia Hashima. It was either one of those two, but I know I had a link. I don't think it was the Bujin, because I didn't really pop anything with it. So yeah, Tornado Dragon. I summoned Tornado Dragon, and Redoer stole a trap off the top of the deck. So I go activate Redoer. He chains Conquistador. I say okay. He chains Hakuero to DD Crow something out of my grave. And then I chain Tornado Dragon to his Conquistador. There was a ruling issue because he thought that Conquistador summons itself before, like during the chain, right? But so I popped Conquistador so that he couldn't pop anything on my field. And after that, I kind of snowballed. I didn't let him do anything. And then the second game, I side in to go second. I let him, no, I side in to go second. He goes first. I guess he bricked because he set one pass. And then after that, I kind of just kept poking him for game with Redoer. I didn't really like go too hard on the comboing off. So that was it for game one. That was a fun Eldritch matchup. Eldritch, I have a really good matchup against Eldritch because I keep stealing all their traps, which means I keep spinning all their shit back. The only bad side is that I don't get a lot of spells off of Eldritch. So I most of the time when I play against Eldritch, I have to rely on Perpetua to feed Redoer the spells from the deck. So round two, I ended up playing against Will Rodriguez, who is probably one of the best players in the shop. I'd say it's a toss-up between him, Joe Bogley, and Mike Samiti. So he's playing rocks. Game one goes on for like, I think 30 minutes or so. I drew every out to everything he was doing, hand trap wise and everything else. But while he didn't know what any of my cards did, so he kept on having to read things and ask questions. So it did drag out a little bit, but that's fine. Like it's, you know, it's just locals. I don't give a fuck. So as we're playing, we get to a point where I didn't let him build a board because I kept stopping him. I bounced back his Researcher before he can use her effect to excavate, and put her on top of the deck. So then he passes. Next turn, I take the Researcher. I poke him for 25 because I didn't really have anything else that I drew into. And then he had no cards in hand. That was the other thing, is he had no cards in hand. And this is where I fucked up. This was my misplay, my mistake. So I pass turn. He takes he draws. I take a spell off the top, and he has one card in hand. So I'm like, okay, I need to do something here, right? I had one card in hand as well, but it was just Cyframe Driver. So I'm like, this isn't gonna do anything for me. He normal summons Researcher, best top deck in the game, right? Normal summons Researcher, and I'm like, okay, I have to do something here, but I don't have a lot of life points left, so I think I'm gonna keep Redoer on field and just get the draw. That was my mistake. I did that. I drew into Gamma. I had no Lambda on field. So now I have an out to his Researcher that I can't use. And then he snowballs, and he ends up killing me. If it wasn't for that one misplay, then I would have won the next turn. So yeah, that was interesting. Game 3, I played against a friend of mine named Dan. He was playing Mech Knight Invoked. That was interesting as well. He, game 1, I bricked like all fucking hell. I couldn't really do anything. He, kind of just kept beating me. Game 2, so pretty much game 1 he won. Game 2 was different. I bricked again, right? But he wasn't able to kill me. He was off by 100 life points. He kept on banishing my redoer. And I couldn't really do anything about it. So, and I had no way of reviving redoer. But I had Perpetua on field, and he had, because he kept on negating redoer's effect with Makaba and then banishing it. But I had Perpetua on field, and he didn't have anything high enough to attack over Perpetua. So, I kind of like, I stalled the game a little bit by having Perpetua in defense position, and I kept on just like slowly bringing back resources, and I would keep using Perpetua's effect for like 2 turns in a row, bringing back Chrono Quarter so I can use her effect, basically saying like, hey, the next damage that I'm going to take, you're going to take instead, right? And he only had like 1 card that can really do anything to me, so he just wouldn't attack, and he would just pass. So now he's giving me chances to get cards and get resources. I kept on like drawing useless hand traps until I drew into Rocket Tracer, right? So in the standby phase, I used Perpetua's effect to revive, I think I revived Chrono Quarter again, or just one of the level 4s. I don't think it really mattered. And then I normal summoned Rocket Tracer. I didn't use its effect, but then I go ahead and I synchro into Omega. So Omega, during my turn, I banished him, and I ripped the only card out of his hand, which was, I think, an Alistair. So no. So first, I make Omega. I attack over his Makaba. Yeah, it wasn't an Alistair that he had. It was, I think it was something else. No, it was an instant fusion. Okay, so I attack over his Makaba, right? And then in my main phase 2, I use Omega to rip the card out of his hand, and it was an instant fusion. So he would then get that back during my next standby phase. Past turn, he can't really do anything. So during, I think, my next standby phase, Omega comes back. Let me see. Yeah, Omega comes back, right? I attack over something else. He gets back his instant fusion. I drew into retrograde, but now I have no materials on Perpetua to revive anything. So now, like, okay, I have to be smart with what I'm doing. So over these turns, I drew into an Ash and I drew into retrograde. I set retrograde, I kept the Ash. I passed turn. He's got his instant fusion again, and then he opens up, he draws into Magical Meltdown. He goes to activate Magical Meltdown. I negate with Ash. Then he goes to activate Instant Fusion, and I hit it with retrograde to negate and attach it to Perpetua. So now Perpetua has material. Now keep in mind, during his standby phases, I keep putting Redoer from the banish pile back into the graveyard. So my next turn, and this is all with 100 life points. My next turn, during the standby phase, I detach from Perpetua to summon Redoer back, put Redoer on the field, start stealing cards, and I start snowballing. And then at that point, he's just like, you know what, you got it. That was good plays. We go. And we're like starting to go into game 3. I look at the time, we've only got like 15 seconds left, and I asked him, I was like, do you want to just take the draw? He goes, well, is there any real benefit to both of us drawing right now? I said, well, we're probably not going to have enough time to even get into game 1, and being that you lost, unless you can burn me, we're going to get a draw anyway. So he goes, fair, take the draw. So I got the draw. And then my last match I played against Grand Maju. And I kept breaking. I didn't open up any of my combo pieces. I didn't open up anything like at all for 2 games in a row. And he just kept on swinging for game 2 games in a row. It was pretty bad, that last game. But so getting 1 win against LtxPrisco, 1 almost win against Rox. I know that doesn't count, but whatever. And then being able to tie against Mech Knights with pure Time Thief. I'd say I'm just a little proud of myself. Obviously, losing against Maju was crazy. This guy was playing like Dark Holes and fucking Raigeki, and just like he was playing the most unconventional Maju deck that I have ever witnessed in my life. So yeah. Anyways, that's the locals report. I will go over the new deck profile. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any footage of any live duels, but you know, this is still, you know, just the first try of me trying to get this right. Anyways, there's a casual locals on Wednesday. I'm waiting for my locals to release the quote-unquote casual ban list. It's casual day, so none of the meta decks are going to be allowed, but it normally is going to be like a lot of rogue decks, a lot of decks that like you don't really see a lot, and it's only for just 1 day out of the week, so I might get some footage of that. In the meantime, guys, yeah, stick around for the final version of the deck profile, and I'll do another video later this week. All right.
Okay. So I'm back home, finally. So I'm gonna do the deck profile of the updated deck profile in this same video, even though you guys just saw it not too long ago. Minor changes, very, very minor changes. But I have it here. We'll go ahead and get right into it. And yeah.
Alright, so here is the deck. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it, because, listen, I know this video is long. I don't want it to be any longer than it has to be. So, anyways, 3 regulator. I'm going to kind of breeze through the obvious stuff. 3 winder. 1 bezel and 1 chrono. I cut them down to 1 each to make room for some other cards. And then 1 arma and 1 boots. I've done this in the past. I decided to go ahead and just do this again, because I like having an extra normal summon I can rely on. Then the 2 tracer and 1 rocket recharger. The 3 parallel exceed. And then into the hand traps, we've got the 3 Ash, the 3 Ghost Mourner, the 3 Gamma, which I got them upgraded from rares to ultras, and the 1 Driver, still rare for this one. And that's pretty much it for the monsters. For the spells, I'm running the 1 Startup and 1 Hack, 3 Quick Launch. I also finally got the 3rd secret Quick Launch that I needed. 3 Called by the Grave, 3 Shade Brigandine, 1 Fogblade. This is another one, just in case I open up the Arma and I have a Shade Brigandine already, then I can just send the boots to search out this, and I have an extra form of disruption, and then I have the Flyback and the Retrograde. I cut this down to 1 because I don't really like seeing it, but I mean, if I see it, then I'll use it if I have to. I really like the set too, but I really just needed the space, that's all. So 40 cards rather than running 43. For the extra deck, the 2 Time Thief Redoer and the 2 Perpetua, pretty standard, that hasn't changed. 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Dugaris, 1 Daigusto Emerald. I'm using this to kind of bring some resources back because I'm only running 1 of each of the ships. So yeah, it's a good card for draw power and for some recursion. And then I'm running the 1 Siphon Lord Omega For the links, one Amaraj, one Lambda, one Hashima, and one Masquerena, one Unicorn, one access code Tucker. So slightly different. Like I said, the changes aren't too major. They're just, you know, kind of minor. And then for the side deck, that really hasn't changed. The 3 Token Collector, 3 Nibiru, 3 Dark Ruler No More, 3 Cosmic Cyclone. This one's kind of sloppy. And then the 3 evenly matched. So, you know, pretty standard, like I said. Not too many big changes. But yeah. So, that's pretty much it for the deck. Alright, it's been a ride. This is probably the longest video I've ever posted. And I'm going to make a point to keep these shorter next time. Because this is probably going to be around 40, maybe 50 minutes. And I don't want to... This is a series, but this isn't like some Netflix show where every episode needs to be an hour. So next time, I'm not going to record the whole weekend. However, I am going to kind of record bits and pieces from the weekend, because this is going to be a weekend thing. I'm going to be recording bits and pieces from my weekend starting from Friday up until Sunday. These episodes will be uploaded hopefully every Monday night or every Tuesday night, or either Monday night or Tuesday morning, depending on like how the week goes. But a little bit of good news. I know I'm extending the video longer than I need to again, but I got the job. I don't know if you guys remember earlier in the video, I did mention that I was that I had applied for another job and I had the interview. I actually got it. They are going to be paying me what I want, and that was the whole. That was what we were kind of waiting on, was the negotiations for my pay rate. So yeah, I got the job. I got the pay that I wanted. It's gonna be full time, and I'm gonna be getting all the benefits that I need, and so. All the money that I'm going to be getting extra compared to what I'm getting now is pretty much just going to be going right back into the YouTube channel, back into Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm going to be using it to kind of help build this the way I want it to. Rather than streaming on Twitch off of a little tiny laptop, I'm going to be investing in a PC. And rather than, you know, playing budget decks and not being able to get the cards that I need sometimes, I'm going to be making sure that money gets invested into the cards that I need, into the decks that I need, so that when you know, major events do start coming around again, I am competitively ready to take on the challenge and hopefully get my invite, which is what this whole series is about, is getting my invite and you know, the journey to there. And then once I do get the invite, if I do get the invite, then the series will extend into going to Nats, and then hopefully going to Worlds. That is the ultimate goal. But in the meantime, I really hope you enjoy the video. I really hope you stuck around until the end, because I know this is the longest video that I have ever posted, and I promise you I will not make any more videos this long. The next one, I promise, will be a lot shorter, okay? In the meantime, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. I'm going to be trying to do this a lot more often, because with this new job, I can focus more on doing my YouTube stuff, and yeah, I don't have to worry about money ever again. Anyways, guys, peace out, love you all, and enjoy the rest of your day.